So most of us in crypto in one form or another are now getting ready for the next leg up in the market, which is kind of what people are calling the imminent bull run. Hard to say exactly when that's going to start. And we've been in the early phases of a bull market, even though it hasn't felt like it. But we do expect some kind of catalyzing action, enthusiasm, upward price momentum beginning in Q4 of 2024 this year, which if you think about it is pretty close. That's just a couple of weeks away, given that we're already in mid-September. And it is not too late to pick up some quality altcoins if you haven't already. If you've run out of dry powder, you haven't had an opportunity, whatever the reason may be, you do still have some time to capitalize on what is coming. And so once again, we're going to take a look at what's not quite showing up on screen. We're looking at some under the radar altcoin gems in this video. In particular, we're counting down 3 that you really ought to start paying attention to for Q4 2024. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck. If you choose to invest, you know the drill. I wish you very well. But I'm not a financial or investment advisor. Just remember that. And also remember that by extension, this video is not official financial or investment advice. We're starting off today with one of our favorite under the radar gems. That is Goldfinch, whose ticker is GFI. This also brings us nicely into the very popular RWA sector, real world assets. You may remember BlackRock's Biddle Fund and that $16 trillion market by 2030 that I keep quoting. That's not my prediction or estimate. That's according to BCG, the Boston Consulting Group. $16 trillion by 2030, also the equivalent of 10% of global GDP. This is going to be massive, and most analysts agree. Okay, when it comes to Goldfinch then, this is a great project because it allows for crypto borrowing, right? But the twist is that you don't need crypto collateral. Instead, your collateral is off-chain. And in DeFi, the norm is to over-collateralize. However, that puts it out of reach for those in developing regions. By contrast to that model, Goldfinch assesses a borrower in a different way. They look at a mix of off-chain collateral, but also income and reputation. And that's where 3 key members come in. Number 1, investors. They provide the USDC that you can borrow directly. Number 2, the borrowers, those who are looking to get financed by Goldfinch. And number 3, very importantly, the auditors. These guys approve the borrowers. So borrowers propose a borrower pool to the protocol. Investors then supply liquidity to these pools. The auditors check the borrowers and approve them. And then once that's done, the borrowers can withdraw stables like USDC from a pool. And then, of course, they can swap it out for their local fiat too if they so choose. The current price of GFI is up a very healthy 15.5% on the day. It's sitting right now, as you can see, at $2.48 with a market cap that's moderate, but getting larger. I wouldn't call this one a micro cap, right? Because it's above $100 million. Currently, as I record, the market cap sits at $205.8 million. Now, out of the 114 million max token supply, 82.9 million are already in circulation. So about, 70% or so? Not the best metric that we've ever seen, but that's pretty good. Next up, and at number 2 on our list of under the radar altcoin gems, we are looking at Rootstock, ticker RBTC. This project is the largest and longest running L2 on Bitcoin. It allows developers to deploy EVM-compatible dApps, and you can send BTC to Rootstock, and then it becomes RBTC. These peg one-to-one to each other, and for this, Rootstock uses PowPeg. RBTC is known as Smart Bitcoin, and that's because you can use it now in DeFi dApps on Rootstock, and PowPeg can do 2 things in particular. Number 1, peg in. That is swapping BTC to RBTC. This uses a vault on the Bitcoin network, and here it locks the BTC. This unlocks RBTC on Rootstock. So that was peg in, and then number 2 is peg out, the complete reverse procedure. So now you send RBTC to a smart contract, and in turn, this unlocks BTC in the Bitcoin vault. There's also another bridge that's between Ethereum and Rootstock. This one allows you to send ERC20 tokens between Ethereum and Rootstock and back. And so now you can use your ERC20 tokens in Rootstock's DeFi ecosystem. And that's thanks to the RVM, or the Rootstock Virtual Machine, which is compatible with EVM. So Ethereum smart contracts can run on Rootstock. RBTC allows you to pay for your transactions on Rootstock. Another neat feature is that you can store RBTC in EVM wallets, like, for example, your MetaMask or Rabi wallets. However, keep in mind that you can also buy RBTC with other cryptocurrencies if you want, besides just Bitcoin, or if you prefer with fiat. Rootstock also uses an important feature called merged mining. Rootstock, of course, was built on top of Bitcoin, and as a result, it also uses proof of work, POW. That is the consensus mechanism. Merged mining means that miners can mine both chains at the same time. Both chains, after all, use the same computing power and tech. And like I just mentioned, they also use the same consensus mechanism, meaning they also use the same hash function. In this case, it's the double SHA SHA-256. In other words, miners can be more profitable here without the need for extra resources, which allows Rootstock to do 4 things. Number 1, validate transactions and do so a lot faster. Number 2, create blocks. Number 3, mine blocks faster in 30 seconds. That's instead of 10 minutes on Bitcoin. And number 4, send them to Bitcoin. So really, Bitcoin secures the Rootstock chain, the layer 2. It's the same principle that L2s use on Ethereum. Really, they use Ethereum security in the same way here that Rootstock uses Bitcoin security. And taking a look at the roadmap here, let's just keep in mind that Rootstock has already been around since 2015. Nonetheless, it keeps building. They're a busy team, and that's reflected in the roadmap here for Q4 2024 and onwards. Some highlights here that I want to point out are in Q4 2024, we're getting an upgrade to PowPeg, which is going to make transfers faster and more secure. And then in Q1 of 2025, we're getting faster transaction confirmations. This will in turn improve scalability and transaction throughput. Transaction confirmation time goes down from 30 seconds, which is already impressive, to just 5 seconds. Rootstock has a Galaxy campaign going on right now. That's called the Rootstock World Tour. And you may want to check that out. If so, you can scroll down. You'll find a link to it in the description of this video below.
And so if this market pulls back hard under this level and then consolidates and comes back, we're likely to sell and stall.
All right, at number 3 here, last but not least on our list as the final under-the-radar altcoin gem, we are considering Near protocol, ticker NEAR, N-E-A-R. This project is one of the many Ethereum competitors that you can find out there. In other words, that means it's fast, it's scalable, and offers low-fee transactions. All the things that really Ethereum lacks and that its competitors are getting right. And for this, Near uses sharding. You can basically compare sharding to a busy supermarket that only has one cache open. As a result, of course, people are going to line up. There's a bottleneck for that service, for that one cache. Okay, and then sharding would be akin to alleviating that bottleneck. It's analogous to that same supermarket deploying more employees and opening up more cash registers and then dispersing that line, right? Dispersing the demand, freeing things up. Near also brings artificial intelligence to the blockchain. Specifically, it brings Web3 and AI together. And that is certainly reflected in terms of investor confidence because as a result of their efforts, you can see here it ranks at the top of the list of current AI protocols in crypto as measured by market cap. Near protocol is definitely a big boy in this space. As you can see here, as I record, its market cap is $4.6 billion. And I'm sure you know our position by now. We feel strongly that along with RWAs and DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure networks, AI is one of the hottest and the most important sectors and narratives within crypto. And for a $4.6 billion market cap project, the price of Near has shown a lot of upward volatility today. Volatility in a good way. Often you say that word and it has a negative connotation, but we have a nice 7.6% pump on NEAR. Its price, as I record, as you can see here, is $4.18. Near ranks right now number 25 in terms of the entirety of crypto as ranked by market cap. But the downside, and I'll be candid here, is that Near has an unlimited supply. I'm not a fan of that. So from a total supply of 1.18 billion tokens, 1.10 billion are already in circulation. And that right there is a good stat, but there's no max supply, right? There is no limit on what the supply could one day be. So look, the tokenomics in that regard are not ideal, but this is still a project that's done very well. It's up about 250% in the last year.